homeowners, it's not a
Streaming from the
question of
Tampa Bay
if, but
28
when
Weather
the
Center
next
in
hurricane
Studio
will
A.
come. No matter what Florida weather has
This
in
is
store,
Dennis Phillips
Storm Smart
Live.
has products that protect every opening of your
Brought to you
home
by
while improving the
Storm
look,
Smart.
feel, and
Protect
function.
every opening of
From
your-
durable aluminum shutters, high-impact windows and doors, to our innovative storm catcher screens, products that enhance the beauty of your home and keep your family safe. Because smart is complete hurricane protection, and smart is peace of mind. Call Storm Smart today for your free in-home consultation.
When your power goes out, remember just how inconvenient your life can be. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with the Generac Home
Streaming from
Standby
the Tampa Bay-
Generator, you'll have power when you need it. Our Generac generators
Streaming from-
automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Get a free 10-year warranty with the purchase of any air-cooled generator. Call Generex Generators today. Generex Generators. Life is primitive without power.
So let me go back for the last 3 minutes on what we're doing here. I guess I'm going to need my IFB here. So like about 2 minutes ago, I decided I would try to call my daughter Ryan and say, hey, why don't you go outside and give a view of our Halloween lights? But I didn't plan any of it. I didn't check it. And I think we're actually up and running. So wait a minute, let me see. I see Ryan over there, so she's okay. How you doing? How's it going on a Tuesday evening? So we have got so much stuff to talk about, all right? We've got tropics, we've got fronts, but before we get into that, and again, I had a lot of people ask about this. So several weeks ago, we put up our Halloween decorations because I'm like, I don't care. I know it's hurricane season. I know what can happen in the Caribbean, but I'm gonna put the stuff up and I'm gonna use the old reverse jinx. Because, a lot of people say, oh, you put up your stuff or you say the word quiet, you're gonna get hurricanes. Well, I figured if I'm gonna put them up early, I'm just gonna say, I don't care about this jinx, I'm gonna go for it. So far, so good, all right? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go right to my correspondent in Palm Harbor, Ryan Phillips, who is, let's see if Ryan is here. Let's go ahead and just take this and we're gonna go ahead. Ryan, are you there?
Hi.
I can hear you, it worked. This was literally a Zoom that I started putting together at like 7:20, 7:30. In fact, that's why the open kind of got messed up. Ryan, who you with?
Jerry.
Jerry? Oh, that's
Jerry.
Wait. So there is a tropical storm Jerry out there. Is that why you named that guy Jerry?
No.
Is that just dumb luck that you came up with that name?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Now that's kind of crazy. I don't even know how that happened. So wait a minute, Ryan, turn the phone sideways and see if it gives us, yeah, we get a better view there. We get a wider view. So you're in our front yard. Go ahead and give a little bit of a little tour.
Jerry's holding a Diet Dr. Pepper.
I can see this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to take you full so we can see you full. You don't need to see me. All right, just go to it. Go to town.
Okay. So these are our beautiful that me and my friends set up. I do these every year because they're the easiest thing, but they're actually harder than they look because they have little poles underneath them and they all have to match their thingy, and that's what they look like.
They're awesome.
Yes, I love them.
You did an exceptional job. Congratulations on that.
And we got our cat, which I like a lot. I don't think it should be yellow, though.
Why is it yellow? Can we change the colors?
We can.
Do
I
we
think
have
it
a
should be
remote?
purple.
Or is the
I
remote
think it should be
lost?
purple. I don't know, but I think it should be purple.
Oh, well, you can change it if you can figure it out.
So over here, it's got some pumpkins. This witch right here, her hat keeps falling off.
Wait, I thought we fixed that this afternoon. Is it broken again?
It fell again.
Oh, man.
And then we have this guy. He's not okay.
He's not okay.
He has some issues over there, but it's okay.
Wait, what about there you go. Okay, there's the giant 16-foot pumpkin, which we just added a couple days ago.
Yeah, it's really big.
And he
Way
hasn't
taller
gone
than
away.
me. He hasn't. He's way taller than me.
I can see that.
And then we got the Sanderson sisters over there.
Yeah, that's from, what movie is that from? It's,
Hocus Pocus.
oh yeah, Hocus Pocus.
Then we got this guy. We're besties.
That guy and you were besties. How come he didn't light up? Are the batteries dead, or doesn't his face light up green?
There.
Oh, there it did.
It's green.
Nice.
It's green.
Okay.
Yeah, because he saw me, so he was really happy.
Okay.
And then over here we got Snoopy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And then this is Jack. And then this is Lantern. That's what their names are.
I'm getting seasick. Try
This
to
is
keep the camera steady if you can.
This is Jack.
Okay, I got it. Jack.
And then that's Lantern.
Okay, I gotcha. Now,
Yeah, and
the
we
music is
got-
not on. Now, those
It's
are
not.
synced to music. If you drove by the house and put your radio on FM 89.5, you would hear the music. I don't put the Halloween music out very early for the neighborhood. I typically do the Christmas lights early, like December 1st on. But so you would hear the music. So if you drive by my neighborhood, put FM 89.5 and you'll hear the Halloween songs that go with those lights. They're synced.
maybe.
Maybe. Wait,
It depends.
that's kind of cold. I put a lot of time into getting that work. All right.
So then we have our tombstones, and then this is Skelly. Actually, no, that's Mickey. That's Mickey.
That's Mickey?
That's Mickey.
Why is that Mickey?
Because he's holding Mickey.
Ah, okay. I got that. All right,
So-
please
And then
try to keep
this
the
is
camera
Minnie.
steady. I'm getting seasick.
this is Minnie.
Minnie's looking pretty rough.
That's Minnie.
Okay.
And then this is Donald.
That is not Donald. I don't even know what you're talking
This
about.
This is Donald.
No, but you know what? Tell the story about how we saw that black cat, and then go out into the street and show the whole view, because I love that black cat.
So I had a Halloween tournament for softball, and it was literally overnight. Like, we saw the sunrise on a field.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was horrible.
It was ridiculous.
It was horrible. All the girls were like falling asleep on their parents' laps. It was bad, and it was
Yeah.
cold.
We had a parent who was offering to bribe the other team to forfeit for $5,000 so we could go home. It was literally that bad.
Yeah.
But we
So-
saw that black cat. That's where we saw it. And we're like, I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. And by the way, if you want to buy this black cat, it's 50% off on Hammacher Schlemmer right now, and they're going out of business. So you can still buy it, I think, for 50% off. I love it. Oh, that's a great shot, Ryan. Don't get run over by a car out there, by the way, while you're out there. Okay, so there you go. There is Ryan Phillips and her her Halloween display. Now, Ryan, tell everybody how much work you put in for the Christmas lights and how you're going to help take all these down when it's ready.
So I'm not going to help put them down
Yeah.
because that's hard.
Yeah, it is. It is hard. It is.
And for Christmas, I go on the roof to help.
Yeah. She's been going on the roof. She loves doing that. Of course, Mom is
I
like,
love
stay
going
off
on
the
the
roof.
roof.
But I'm like, you're okay.
I like going on the roof. And then I help with like putting things in places, like once they're already set up, I like moving them.
She fine-tunes everything. Yeah, it's a true story. All right, babe. Well, thank you so much for the tour. Everybody is truly appreciating it, and I do, and I love you very much. Call me before you go to bed, and I will see you later. All right, thanks, Ryan. Love you, babe. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so there you go. That was my daughter, Ryan Phillips, with an update on our Halloween lights, our Halloween display, which is still up. And with the tropics active and with the cold front on the way, will it stay up to the weekend? We will have all your local weather, including the tropics, coming up in 90 seconds as DPL continues. Well, that was kind of fun and totally unexpected because I'm totally serious, guys. Like literally at 7:27, I'm thinking, hey, I literally called her and said, hey, can you do a quick a DPL? She's like, sure. You know, Ryan, she ain't shy. And yeah, so she got a chance to show it, and it was dark enough to actually show everything. Okay, so once we get back, we are going to. I should run the open again, just to, you know what, I think I might, because I didn't get the open run. So let's go ahead and run that open when we come back. And just to, you know what, just because we can. We'll run the open, and then we will talk about all the stuff we got going on, because we actually got a lot of stuff to talk about. But you know what? She's got softball, she's got drama, she's got all these things, and it's rare that she's home at 7:30 to do this sort of thing. And I'm sure she'll be doing it for Christmas as well. All right, we are back in 20 seconds on TV. We will run our show open, and we will jump into the tropics and what I think is going to be a very active stretch coming up. Jules just said there's a guac alert. Oh, boy, really? Cruise Mike is in. All right, Mike, how you doing, my man? All right, we're back in 3, 2.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A. This is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by Storm Smart. Protect every opening of your home. And Generex Generators. Life is primitive without power.
All right, how about that? I thought since we didn't get to have the open on the show because we wanted to jump right in because everything was falling apart, I figured I'd go ahead and show the open. All right, so welcome to Dennis Phillips Live. By the way, quickly, Thursday night we will not be on broadcast because the Lightning has their home opener on Thursday night. I will be attempting to do DPL live from Thunder Alley. So don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot. So we will, if you're going to Thunder Alley, come on over and say hi as we broadcast live. The news will be broadcast live there, and I will be also broadcasting DPL there as well. All right, so let's go ahead and start with what we got going on locally. We got a lot to talk about. If you're watching on TV, as always, thank you very much. We are now on DirecTV Stream. We are on the DirecTV Stream. So it's always best to watch on TV and follow along on social because it gives you, Bridget Joe wants to know what a guac alert is. All right, Bridget Joe, I will tell you. You get people on, so we've got the folks watching on TV and then we've got the folks following along on social, and there's lots on both, right? Well, sometimes I will go on a tangent, as I've been known to do, as I'm doing right now, and someone's like, get to the weather, or, well, this isn't time for chat, we should be talking about weather. And my take is, you know, look, everybody has their own choices of what they want to watch, but if you were to walk into a friend's house and you notice that there's chips and salsa out there, and the chips and salsa are there for you to partake in, but you don't see any guac, and you're like, well, you want guac. Do you yell at your friend, hey, where's the guac? Now, you might. You might, depending on how well you know someone. But if you don't really know them that well, or you're kind of new to the show or the game, you might just be like, wait until they bring the guac out. Because they're going to bring you the guac out. I mean, it's in the fridge. It's been made. You got the spices all together. You got a little hot sauce, got some onions, got some peppers, jalapenos, right? It's ready to go. But maybe the host is like, well, you know what, I'll put it out in a little bit. Or do you go, I want the guac? You probably don't do I want the guac. So that is, you kind of get what I'm going for here. That is what the where's the guac comment is for. All right, so Mike Bright, how you doing, Cruise Mike? All right, there is a look at radar. We had a few showers out there today. We still have that real persistent east to west flow. And temperatures have been anywhere from the upper 70s to the low 80s right now. You know what, guys? We almost broke a record high today in Tampa. Man, another gorgeous sunset. Here, hold on. I'm going to make this graphic go away so we can actually see this sunset because it is gorgeous. Wait a minute. Let's see. There you go. There you go. There's the mainsail. Another spectacular sunset. And right now, 83 degrees in Tampa. The dew point's still in the mid-70s. The dew point is in the mid-70s. And today, we literally almost broke. Oh, look at that USF colors over at Ray J. Look at the high today. We hit 92. The record is 93, and that dates back 75 years. Just did that math in my head. 93, the record high back in 1950. 92, what we had today. People are like, all right, where is, Maria's like, just bring the tequila. I don't want the guac. Maria, I respect that. So, and now George is like, I'm just hungry for some guac right now. 2-0, Mariners are up, David. Thank you for the update. So there's a look at that east to west wind. And tomorrow we continue with an easterly flow. Remember what we've been talking about for days. Easterly flow, supermoon, perigee, and a king tide is why there's been coastal flooding on the east coast of Florida and the southeastern coast of the U.S. Well, tomorrow a little drier air comes in, so the rain chances drop down, but we're still going to have that easterly wind, 15 to 20. Bridget's like, those are Packer colors. Yeah, I guess they are. So, you know, Craig's asking about La Nina coming up this winter. Typically for us, it means a drier winter. It typically does. El Nino typically means more of a stormy pattern for us. But, you know, that's not on all or nothing. It's never always the same way. That's just a general pattern. Yeah, Mary, Penn State football. I did RIP Penn State football on Monday. I was just really horrific. Anyway, we'll stick with weather because we are running a little bit behind. Thursday morning, we do have some showers pushing in from the east, but that front is on the way, and it comes in later Friday into first thing on Saturday, okay? So, what that front, now look, it is not going to bring a blast of cold air. We've been telling you this for days. Matter of fact, I'll show you what those temperatures are going to be. But once the front comes through, the dew points will drop. It'll feel really nice in the morning. We're still going to be mid-80s in the afternoon, but in the mornings, we're going to be in the 60s. So that's where the really nice weather is going to come. It's going to arrive in the mornings, and then the afternoons are still going to be in the 60s or in the mid-80s. But if we take a look at the temperatures, all right, here we go. This is tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. All right, look where you live and see if you can figure it out. This is Thursday morning, low to mid 70s. Thursday evening, still low 80s. Friday morning, middle 70s, so still mild on Friday morning. Friday night, beginning to see some cooler air come in. Saturday morning, 60s Citrus County, 70s elsewhere. Highs in the mid-80s. There's 8 p.m. Sunday morning, lower 60s in our northern counties. Mid to upper 60s elsewhere. Really nice afternoon. And Monday morning, low to mid 60s in the morning. Afternoon highs, again in the mid 80s. But I want to go down to about the 20th. Let's see if the Euro is still cooling us off. I've not looked at this. Another cold front on the 20th, a week later. And look at some of these temperatures on Sunday morning, the 19th, Monday morning, the 20th, Tuesday morning, the 21st. So absolutely 2 waves of cool air coming in. All right, we'll take a look at potential storm development from these fronts and the tropics in 90 seconds as DPL continues. All right. So, Michael wants to know where guac is in Publix. They have pre-made guac over there by the salads, the pre-made salads. Now, I'm a fan. So there's a restaurant in Oldsmar. Great homemade guac. The table guac is awesome. And I'm not even a huge guac guy, but to make the whole thing at your table, it's exceptional. Okay, Jason. Now, see, Jason, you are correct, but you're incorrect. Because Jason just said there's a cold bias. Jason, that was not the euro. That was the GFS. Ooh, how about that? The euro does have a cold bias, which is why I did not show the euro. I showed you the GFS, hashtag cha-ching. So there you go, Jason. How about that? I got you. All right, we are going to fly through this stuff for the TV folks because we still have another break, too, to catch up. I had to let Ryan go. I just had to let her keep going because, you know, when in doubt, just let Ryan talk and people will be happy. That is just, it is it Grillsmith? The one right there on Tampa Road. I think it's Flamestone or Grillsmith. I mix those two up. It's one of those two. Anyway, back in 3, 2. How you doing, everybody? Back on Dennis Phillips Live. Let's jump into the tropics, all right? So, the new Storm Prediction Center, the new Climate Prediction Center came out with their new weekly outlook, all right? Here it is. Now, the week of October 15th to the 22nd to the 21st, there is a high probability of development in the Pacific side. That is over 60% chance of development. But there's 40 to 60% chance right there in the zone that we've been watching. And there's one last gasp chance of development in the Atlantic. After that, the Atlantic is shut down. It is done. And we turn our attention to the Caribbean. Guys, I've been saying this for a while. I would be flabbergasted if we make it through a season without the Caribbean seeing a hurricane. And at this point, there has been nothing. Now remember, the hurricane season runs until November 30th. And let me tell you something. Since the waters have been relatively untouched in the Caribbean, they are still very warm. And those fronts have not made it through. So you never say never, but look, when you get development in the Caribbean in October, the majority of the time it goes to Florida. Because of those fronts that come down, southwest flow out ahead of it brings it into Florida. It's just the way it usually happens. But even in November, you get development in the northern Caribbean. And where does it go? Now, usually a little farther south. Why is that? Because the fronts travel farther south in November. A tropical system ain't going to go through a front, right? So if the front comes in, high pressure builds in behind it, then you get a roadblock, and usually that roadblock happens farther south because the fronts make more headway in November than they do October. Make sense? All right. There is a look at the spaghetti models. Let's go ahead and look at the ensembles. And then we have a quick commercial break, last one. Most of the ensembles keep this north of the islands. I'm a little concerned about the northern Leeward Islands. Northern Leeward Islands, little concerned. Not concerned with Puerto Rico. These are going to develop and go zoop, zoop, away from the U.S. mainland. This is going to be a season that every single system that forms in the Atlantic is going to curve away from the U.S. Here's a look at the GFS ensembles. You get the main curve, zoop, zoop, away from the islands, but close to the northern leeward. Then you got all these. What is that? What is that? And then you have this with development up there. What is that? Well, that is the GFS. Here is the Euro. And it shows a very similar thing. Constant zoop away from the islands. This kind of nonsense there. And then you've got this and potentially into this. So you've got your global models that continue to show that possibility. But what about the operational models? One last break, back in 90 seconds, and we'll show you that on DPL. Okay, we are in our last break. All right, Warsaw, well, Peter Brady. Warsaw, Indiana. David, how you doing today? All right, so, and we'll continue for a few minutes as well on Facebook as well. We've got another 3 minutes on TV. The operational models are showing exactly what we talked about yesterday. There is no yellow marked area in the Caribbean yet. It'll be interesting to see whether or not it's actually a hybrid system, which would get a name, or if it's just a non-tropical system. And that is a possibility. Yeah, I mean, Julie, I think there's going to be a hurricane somehow out of the Caribbean at some point. Doesn't mean it's going to go to Florida. Could go west, could go northwest, could go northeast. But I'll say it again, I would be flabbergasted if we do not see a hurricane come out of the Caribbean in a building La Nina with all those warm water temperatures. I would be befuddled. The Peter Brady, that's the, you guys know that, the old school Brady Bunch episode? I digress. All right, we are back on our final TV hit in 4, 3, 2. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to DPL, our last 2 minutes on broadcast. Again, watch on streaming, watch on Facebook. We are always talking. We're always interacting. I'm answering the questions. But I do want to show y'all one last thing here. All right, this is the latest NHC numbers. There are no yellow blobs or yellow marks around Florida or east of Florida. I would not be surprised if we see one right here in the upcoming days. Why? Because of this. Here's the GFS. When you get a stall, there goes Jerry, zoop. Jerry goes out to sea. But when you get a stalled out front this time of the year, and there it is, or there it is down here, right? More often than not, you can see tropical development or subtropical development along that front. And there it is, east of Florida on Saturday. Now, will that be tropical, or will it be subtropical, or will it just be like a nor'easter? Don't have that answer yet. If it's subtropical, they would name it. If it's tropical, they would name it. What makes it tropical? Warm core. If it's warm core, it would be a tropical system. If it's extratropical or cold core, it would be a winter-type nor'easter system. The impacts on the southeast coast and the mid-Atlantic would be the same, but again, you would not have a non-tropical system show up on here as opposed to a tropical system would. So, in summation, my friends, I believe Jerry will curve out to sea near the Leeward Islands. I believe another low pressure develops around east of Florida sometime in the next 3 or 4 days and go up to the eastern seaboard. Could get a name if it would be Karen, if it does develop, but if it becomes non-tropical, it's just a classic nor'easter. And then we have the Caribbean, which will be walking closely. Cold front on the way, cooler mornings, pleasant afternoons. Thanks for watching DPL. We'll see you tomorrow. Made it through. Made it through. Okay, so that was kind of crazy. That was kind of crazy. All right, so let's go back and take a little bit more time with the models. operational run. Now, this is only 5 days out, so, it's certainly conceivable. So you've got Friday evening, Saturday morning, Saturday evening. There's your low pressure, 999 millibars. I mean, yeah, this could be a subtropical storm Karen, is what it could be. All right, there is Sunday morning, Sunday evening. I mean, that's a tropical storm force system off the mid-Atlantic, Saturday and Sunday. Flat out, it is. And then it does kind of a little loop-de-loop off the New England coast. So that really would be kind of a nor'easter type of storm. That's the GFS. And then you got Jerry out there. And then it loops back. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Sunday, Monday, look how it starts to go back south again. And then it finally zoops out to sea. And then there's another cold front coming in. Let's look at that one. Strong cold front. There's your 540 line all the way down to the mid-Atlantic. Here, let's watch. There's next Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the 17th, the 18th, the 19th, the 20th. Big storm, 540 line going to the mid-Atlantic. All right, that's the GFS. Let's look at the Euro. Does the Euro develop the same kind of system? There's Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Friday evening. It does. Look at that. Look at your Euro. Almost identical. Wait. If you know, you know. And most of the folks here know. If we were on TV, they probably wouldn't know. Who am I banning? Who am I banning? All right. To quote my cousin Vinny, because I do it at all times, the Euro and the GFS are almost identical. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, you need to watch that movie. Identical. The tire marks are identical. All right, let's go back. So, let's go. There is Saturday, all right? There is Sunday. There is Sunday afternoon. Sunday, man, I'll say it again. Identical. Really is. And look at even retrogrades. Look at that. All right, look. All right, GFS, Friday. Here, can I put them next to each other? Here, let's do this. Let's make this easier. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and call this up now. Let's just call it up. All right. I'm going to call it up, and we're going to put them up side by side. Okay, so let's do United States, GFS, 12Z. I'm going to stick with the 12Z, add. All right, then let's do the Euro. 12Z, add. All right, this is better. Okay, so Thursday morning, 8 a.m., nothing. There's the GFS, the Euro. They are, do it with me, identical. All right, Friday morning, 8 a.m., Euro, GFS. No. Wait. Are those both? Stand by. Something's amiss. I don't know why it's not. Oh, no, okay, that's right. The top one is the GFS, bottom is the Euro. Yeah, okay. All right, 8 a.m., GFS, Euro. GFS, Euro. Say it again. GFS, Euro. Saturday morning, GFS, Euro. Euro is a little more north, but really close. Saturday night, GFS, Euro. Really, really close. Sunday morning, GFS, Euro. Look at that. Identical. All right, there is, let's go to 8 p.m. GFS, Euro. Holy cow. Look how in agreement. Let me tell you, guys, this is really rare. To see the GFS and the Euro 5 days out with cyclogenesis and a system that has not even formed yet. A system that has not even formed yet. And they are that close 5 days out. I'm not saying they're going to be right, but Dang. That's all I got to say. All right, let's go back to full screen. So, you know, I do my best. I try to keep it entertaining. I do try. All right, now who is this Allison Sweeney person? Wait a minute, what's going on? I was in the middle of geeking out with the weather stuff, and now, wait a minute. What is going, Allison, are you causing a fuss? Let me look. Well, I don't see her. She's not showing up on mine. So I see no Allison Sweeney. I don't know why I don't, but I don't. So there's no Allison Sweeney until I see it with my own eyes. Look, I trust these admins here, but I don't see it. So Allison is safe for the time being. Okay, so anyway, that is Sunday. Let's scroll up a little bit. All right, here's Monday morning. Holy cow! GFS Euro, GFS Euro, GFS Euro. Monday night, GFS Euro. Then it starts to, well, I mean, it's 6 days out, for heaven's sakes. The Euro starts to retrograde more than GFS. Either way, yeah, I can't scroll all the way up, Dominique. So Allison's okay. Allison's lucky. So God himself kicked her out from Zach. Okay, so that is pretty darn impressive. Pretty darn impressive. So let's recap, shall we? All right. I got to post about that because that's the GFS and the Euro to show such identical stuff this far out. Pretty darn impressive. I'm not seeing her. So maybe I already blocked her. Maybe she was blocked from a previous life or something because I'm not showing. She's not on my feed. She's not on my feed at all. I don't know what to tell you. All right. Doesn't matter. Okay. So tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, not a lot of change. Friday night, the front comes through, all right? And then Saturday and Sunday, we cool off to these numbers. Okay? Right there. Will there be a problem to the Caribbean cruise leaving on the 17th? Terry wants to know. I mean, it's possible. It is possible. I can't answer that. It is possible. 8 days out, the tropics could be going a little bit. All right. Anyway, look at the cold. There's your cold. Saturday morning, Sunday and Monday morning, the two chilliest mornings. 60s for the entire area. Caitlin says not on hers either. That's interesting. That is very interesting. How can Allison be on some but not on others? Is she a hacker? Is she a world-renowned hacker? I don't know. Just added a picture and cover pic 2 minutes ago. I trust you, Bridget. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I got to do it because Bridget is, Bridget's kind of our admin here. All right. Ban Allison. All right, Allison's gone. There it is. She's gone. Because I trust the admins. I do. We have a couple admins here, and they wouldn't steer me wrong. I know they wouldn't. Well, they might, but I don't think so. All right, so let's go back. So Allison's gone. Sorry, Allison. How's it from Survivor? It's like, no. On the weakest link. And you're voted off. You're gone. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, yeah, I didn't hit the buzzer. All right, gone. Okay, I can't change the temp numbers. I'm with you. I get it. They're small, but yeah, I cannot change that. Cannot change that, Red. My apologies. I wish I could. 3-0 Seattle. The Mariners are up over the Tigers. Okay, now, Elise, there is no hurricane. There is nothing to track. I'm merely saying, for someone who's saying, hey, I want to go on a cruise in the middle of October. I mean, right now, we look at the middle of October, the Caribbean looks good. See that? You look good. You look good. And you probably are going to be good. But when you look at the ensembles, The ensembles, you know, they show something different. Now, I would tell you, if you were to ask me if that cruise, if you're like to say, Dennis, come on. If you had to go out on a limb, do you think you'll be okay the 17th or the 20th? I would say probably yes. But I'm more inclined, look, you guys know I'm on the record. I've already been wrong. I've already been wrong because I'm bamboozled. I'm flabbergasted. I would have expected a named storm by now out of the Caribbean. And I'm on the record of saying that. So I was wrong. I would be even more flabbergasted and bamboozled if we don't see one by the end of October. But maybe this is just one. You know what? It's an interesting point because I was talking to LSG, Lauren St. Germain. By the way, Lauren's very funny. We have these conversations in the commercial breaks, and she doesn't play funny on TV usually, but she's very funny in person. So we were talking about this stuff, and she's like, all right, so we have a La Nina, and we've got all this warm water, and Paul is very intellectual. Paul thinks things through. Paul, you can see his mind is always working. And you can kind of tell mine is never working. It's just, that happens when you get to be my age. But Paul is always internalizing things, right? And he's thinking about it. And so he's like, well, wait a minute. If we get a cold front that comes down, won't that cold front prevent tropical systems from developing by cooling the water down? And I go, Paul, it's a good question. Now, Lauren was just laughing at me because I accidentally said Gulf of Mexico on TV today, and then I quickly said Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, whatever you guys want it, whatever you want is your preference is fine with me. And then I wanted to call it Amalie Arena. So Lauren's like, you're calling it Gulf of Mexico, you're calling it Amalie, what are you going to do next? And she said something, and I can't remember what it was, but it was really funny. But anyway, back to what we're saying. So when the water temperature goes below 80 degrees, you're less likely to get tropical development, okay? But see, these storms aren't going to form where the water is lower than 80. Yeah, we get this cold front this weekend and another cold front on the 20th, then maybe we are less likely to see homegrown true tropical development in our area. We're getting a little sciencey for you here. We're getting a little sciencey, but what am I going to do? So, but these storms form in the Caribbean where the water is still mid to upper 80s, pristine conditions, and it would quickly accelerate northeastward once it develops. So even though it would go from a tropical system moving into cooler water, its forward speed would be such that it really wouldn't have an opportunity to weaken very much. Case in point, Wilma. Hurricane Wilma, late October, back in 05. Was it 05? I think it was 05. Was it 20 years ago? Holy cow. When did Hurricane Wilma form? I think it was, because it's a W storm, and we haven't had many W storms. 2005. Yeah. Wow, I'm old. Anyway, Wilma was the strongest hurricane ever to form in the Atlantic. 888 millibars, I think. Something like that. Anyway, it was one of the strongest ever recorded. 882 millibars. So, but by the time it hit Florida, it had started to transition to a non-truly tropical system. When Don Gourmet's Mr. Hunker Down was doing a live shot in Naples, he said he had never seen this before. It was raining cold. The rain was cold. And he'd been chasing a lot of hurricanes, and everything was always warm. So that late in the season, you do get development in the Caribbean. And yes, it'll start to transition to a non-tropical system, which, oh, by the way, once that happens, its forward speed starts to accelerate. So the relative speed over land, where you are in relationship to the wind, even though the winds may be dropping somewhat, the relative speed of the storm can increase and you still transition to a significant wind event. Does that make sense? Identical. So anyway, point is, even though the water may cool off significantly now, if high pressure builds in, and this goes back to our November development, what we talked about. So once this strong cold front comes in, what happens is you get high pressure pushing in behind it, right? All the way down here, and it blocks anything from developing or blocks from things going in that direction. Instead, it goes this direction. Does that make, look at the finger pointing there. I don't, that's, what, isn't that kind of weird? Oh, I just noticed that. Anyway, does that make sense to you? So, I don't know what the heck that is. Talking about the supermoon, which we've been talking about that for a few days now. So there you have it. If something develops in the Caribbean, even though fronts may have gone through, if high pressure has built in and it blocks it, it's going to turn. And this is, again, this is exactly what I was talking about a couple minutes ago, right? So in October, fronts don't typically go quite as far, right? So you would get development that could go to Florida. Zoop, just like that. But in November, when fronts do go farther south, high pressure does build in farther south, the track of a tropical system would be farther south. See? That makes sense? Clear as mud, right? Okay. So there you have it, my friends. So I'm going to have dinner. I'm eating a grilled cheese for dinner. I had a grilled cheese for lunch, and I only ate half. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to bring the half of the grilled cheese back for lunch, for dinner. I'm going to go watch, what was the final score on the Panthers game? I saw that they won. They were 2-2 with about 13 minutes left in the third period. They won 3-2, so it was a low-scoring game. All right. I think that's about it. Do you have any questions? Questions? Let me look and see if we have any questions. Your outlook for the U.S. Virgin Islands, the 23rd to the 26th. Amy, in my opinion, by then, the Atlantic will be shut down. And there will be no additional development in that area. So you should be okay. All right? You should be okay. That is my prediction as of this point. But keep checking in. All right, what else do we got? Ormond Beach, how you doing? And good to see you. Yeah, I love grilled cheese. And I love grilled cheese on sourdough bread. I mean, grilled cheeses are awesome anyway, but on sourdough, it's the best. No, I'm okay with a leftover grilled cheese. I'm a low-maintenance guy. Like, I really am. When it comes to food, I'm just like, whatever's in front of me is fine. I'm not a foodie. I like good food, and I appreciate it when I get to eat it, but I'm just as happy eating a grilled cheese. Where do I store my my Christmas decorations? In my attic. And there's in my attic and in my garage. I was just not really hungry, Mike, like for lunch, because I'm such a night owl, right? So I normally don't eat my first meal until sometimes after this show. And then again, at maybe 1 in the morning. I know, it's screwy, right? But so I ordered a grilled cheese today for lunch, and I only ate half of it. So I saved it, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat it. Yeah, Public sourdough bread is very good, Red. Fontina Gruyere cheese, I am a cheese fanatic. I am a fondue fanatic. So I do love fondue. That's kind of my bougie side. I mean, I'll just eat a regular old grilled cheese with any cheese, but I am a big fondue guy. Vladdy hit another homer, Jules. So wait a minute, are the Jays going to sweep the Yankees? I don't think Anna Maria will ever recover if that's the case. I don't think she is a Yankee fan. October 24th to the 26th, Bear Ma wants to know food and wine. I think you're fine. Antigua. Charlotte, yeah, that is, no, the hurricane cakes aren't coming back. You are the person that I am a little concerned about. Let's go back and look at this. I'm with you, Brad. You and me both, my man. Hey, I want to tell you a funny story. And then we'll talk about Antigua for, who was that? I can't remember who that was in there. Charlotte? I don't remember. So, Allie, you guys know Allie. Allie Blake, our morning traffic / meteorologist person. Allie wears lots of hats. She fills on everybody's shift. All right. She went to South Carolina with her relatives this weekend. And she was sitting at a Starbucks. And somehow she started talking. She was sitting at a Starbucks with a girl and her parents. And they're in South Carolina. They were in Charleston, South Carolina. And somehow the conversation started that they found out that Allie was from Tampa and worked and did weather and worked here. Somehow that conversation was overheard. So the girl who was doing her homework in Starbucks looked up and said, my family watches Dennis Phillips. They're big fans. And I go to school with Dennis Phillips' son. So this girl is a senior at Palm Harbor in the IB program, like my son is, and knows my son. So they're sitting at a Starbucks in South Carolina, in Charleston, and they happen to be, oh, yeah, I know I know his son, Jake. Actually called him a genius. I think that's a little strong, but he's a pretty bright kid. And 4-0 Seattle now. Oh, Mike's a Tigers fan, clearly. Oh, yeah, she went to NC State, Michael. It's true, but I don't know. Why was she in Charleston? I don't know. Anyway, so Jake is now in the process of sending apps in for UF and USF and, to kind of decide where he's going to go. It was a very small world. Caitlin, that was exactly my point. Quite a small world we live in, right? All right, let's go back, talk about Antigua. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in to the forecast track. And then I'm going to go eat my grilled cheese. So let's go ahead and let's edit this. Let's go ahead and edit this. Why is it not letting me edit it? Let's edit this map. No, I don't have to edit. I can just zoom in maybe. No, I do need to edit it. Let's edit. So this lets me zoom in. All right. So, okay. There is the forecast track. Now, let's look at the latest spaghetti models and see how they look. All right, so here are the spaghetti models. There are a few rebels that are going more west, even toward Puerto Rico. So we cannot write that off entirely. The majority of them are going more east. But there are a few that want to go more west. So we still got to watch it. Now, this is the official NHC track. The island of Antigua right there on the edge of the cone. Hurricane force winds will probably extend 30 or 40 miles out from the center of this storm at that point, maybe 50. My belief is you would get tropical storm force winds with the track and not hurricane force winds like this. That is what I think would happen. I think you would get tropical storm force winds, but not hurricane force winds. All right? But we'll watch tomorrow. So we'll be back tomorrow. Thursday, I'm going to be live at the bench. I think that's what they're calling it. DPL will be live in Thunder Alley. It's going to kind of be fun. And we'll see how it goes. But right now, Front Friday, cooler Saturday morning, Sunday, especially Sunday, Monday morning. Low pressure developing, so says the models. Incredible agreement 6 days out. Low pressure develops, goes up the eastern seaboard as I'm going to show you this again, because let's not belittle this, all right? Let's not belittle this. If these models are right, George, how you doing? I have a podcast I think I'm doing with George. I think it's December 2nd. I think it is. So, yeah, you should come to Thunder Alley, Zach. Yeah. Sarah, I wasn't saying in the cone. I was saying in the ABCs, just generally right in that same area. All right, so real quick, if the GFS, which one did we call it up? It was this one or was it this one? This one. All right. Look at the millibars here. This is Sunday morning. That's 994 millibars. That, my friends, is a tropical storm and a good 50 to 60 mile an hour tropical storm. All right? Euro, 994. Same exact. God, that's crazy. It really is crazy. 5 days out, it's showing this. That's just wacky. So, my point is, folks in the Carolinas, folks in the Delmarva, folks on the Jersey Shore, you may have yourselves quite a nor'easter type storm Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. All right? You have been warned. Let's don't hear that. But no one told me. I didn't hear. DPL told you. We told you. All right? So I'm going to maybe even do a little TikTok video tonight on this. Because models are pretty much in agreement. All right? Okay, so I'm going to go eat my grilled cheese, and then I'm going to do a video, and then I'll do a couple of posts, and we'll be back tomorrow on our next edition of Dennis Phillips Live. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, by the way, and thanks to Ryan Phillips for her fabulous tour of our front yard, too. So thank you, Ryan. You guys have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.